The 2017 Ford Fusion. Has Ford nearly perfected the mid-size family sedan? That's what I'm going to talk about today in the latest episode of Carbo's Unboxing Reviews. I'm Jay, and this is the Ford Fusion. But before I get started, I want to thank Future Ford of Sacramento, California for letting me come on down and film today. So the Ford Fusion, you see these cars everywhere. They're very popular in the US. Overseas, it's known as the Ford Mondeo. But the Fusion, without question, is one of the segment leaders. And when it was first launched in 2005, it was already a nice looking car, but this second generation, which came out in 2013, is even better. And then for 2016, it was given a midlife refresh. And the Fusion occupies the segment that the Ford Taurus used to literally own. But now the Ford Taurus has become this large sedan that, in my opinion, is living on borrowed time. But what's new for 2017 with the Fusion here is you have two new trim levels. You have the Platinum, which is the car you see here, as well as the Fusion Sport. And the moment you step inside, just like with last year's Fusion, you just get this impression of quality throughout. The materials look and feel premium, and that's because they are. The Platinum model, it receives a leather-wrapped steering wheel, instrument panel, and door trim. And there it is right there. That is real leather on the door trim. It's this nice diamond pattern. It's not like leatherette that you see on, for example, the Volkswagen Jetta. And of course, the leather seats have this diamond stitch pattern as well. And it's an overall just really comfortable place to be. I was just extremely impressed by these bit of upgrades that made an already very good car even better. Now, one of the complaints that I do have about the Fusion is this, the rear seat space. In terms specifically of the legroom, there's just not really enough of it for this segment. But you got to remember that this Fusion, the platform itself dates back a few years. So whenever the next generation Fusion comes out, which I know Ford is already working on, I am sure increased legroom and overall rear seat space is going to be improved. But it's not bad the way it is. I would just like this to be a bit more spacious in the rear. Okay, under the hood, this is going to be very familiar for anyone who has or currently owns a Fusion. This is the EcoBoost 2-liter turbocharged inline-4. It's got 245 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to a 6-speed automatic with paddle shifters. All that power goes straight to the front wheels, and you can get all-wheel drive, but I believe it's an extra $2,000. But the bottom line about this engine, and you need to know this, is that this Turbo 4, it is a great substitute for a naturally aspirated V6. And as you can see, just with this interior, there is leather everywhere. Padding the dash, the sides of the doors, the seats. It's really taking Ford to a new level, which you would think that would be Lincoln. And I want to bring that point up in a few minutes too. The Lincoln factor, let's call it that. But let's start up this engine here for a moment so that you can hear that. Alright, so it's not a V6, but I think it's good enough for a car like this. It's a family sedan, remember that. Performance, you're going to go from 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds. I believe it'll go up to about 7.5 seconds for the all-wheel drive, but again, family sedan, it's not all about extreme performance. If you want more performance from a Fusion, as I mentioned, there is the new Fusion Sport, and that has a brand new 2.7 liter twin turbo V6. That thing has got a total of 325 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. That is an incredibly powerful engine for a sedan of this size. You are really going to take off in that. And this right here on the center dash here is Sync 3. It is the substitute or complete replacement rather for my Ford Touch. This is an 8-inch touch screen and it's much improved over my Ford Touch. Everything is much more logical. The system doesn't do any of those stupid reboots my Ford Touch used to do. This one also features voice-activated navigation system. And I really have to give Ford full props for listening to customers why they didn't like my Ford Touch and redesigning the whole thing. Other features this Fusion Platinum comes with is a 12-speaker Sony sound system, dual-zone climate control, heated and cooled seats. This really is a luxury here, everyone. It's not just pretending to be with a few features here and there. The Ford Fusion Platinum, it is literally a true luxury sedan. And this is really nice here too. Ford got rid of the gear selector, just the regular old gear shifter on the center console, replaced by that rotary knob. That's kind of similar to what Jaguar is doing now, but what it does, it just frees up all this storage space. Look at that center console storage unit. There is a ton of space in there. When you don't have a gear lever on the center console, look at all that free space. Cup holders, there's even a separate storage cubby for phones. And this is just my prediction here. I think more automakers are going to start switching to those rotary dial gear selectors because as Jaguar and now Ford have figured out, look at all the extra space it creates. It just makes the overall design less complicated and just better for the driver and front seat passenger. And of course, having a sunroof is very nice. You can get the sunroof on various Fusion trims as well, not just in the Platinum. Also, something that Ford has done with this latest Fusion, it's added a lot of new safety items, including adaptive cruise control, pre-collision assist with pedestrian protection, a lane keeping system, which you can turn off because it can get kind of annoying, and even driver alerts for drowsiness. And there's also an improved park assist, which now features perpendicular as well as parallel parking. And speaking of driving, how does this thing drive? It actually feels really quick and responsive. Like I mentioned, this turbo 4-cylinder, it is a great V6 substitute. The steering is direct and it's communicative. Is this a sports sedan? No, that's what the Ford Fusion Sport is for. But this just drives with a lot of confidence. I think that's a really good word to describe the way this Fusion feels. It's confident on the road. And there's something else that you need to remember is that the Fusion, it rides on the same front-wheel drive platform as the Ford Edge crossover. And I know crossovers are really popular in the US right now. And if you want to spend more money and get some extra space and sit higher up, then by all means, go for the Ford Edge. But if you're just looking for a good family sedan, this is the car for you. So how much does this Ford Fusion Platinum cost? The Platinum trim, it starts at $36,620, and then once you add in the Destination and the ruby red tinted clear coat exterior paint, you're looking at a grand total of $38,000 for this. And that is a lot of luxury for the money. But if you don't have 36 grand to spend on a family sedan and you need something midsize and not compact, don't worry, Ford has got you covered. It has a total of 12 model choices, ranging from the base Fusion, the Fusion S, I believe it's called. It begins at just a little over $22,000. Then you can go all the way up to the Energy Platinum, $39,120 right there. Basically, Ford wants there to be a Fusion model for everyone, thus, in their opinion, eliminating the need to shop the competition. As you can see, yeah, rear seat space, it's okay. 3 adults in there, it's gonna be packed. Oh, and speaking of the Fusion Energy, if you want a Fusion with more than 40 miles per gallon, that's the one for you. This one right here has 21 miles per gallon in the city, 31 on the highway, and a combined 25, which is pretty good, I have to say. And this is another reason why the Ford Taurus, the full-size sedan, is starting to become obsolete. It's just because there's a lot of trunk space in the Fusion right now, too. You don't need to go up to a large full-size sedan to get it. With the 60/40 and split-folding rear seats, you're really in good shape. But again, you need something bigger, like a crossover, and you like the way this Fusion drives, I recommend the Ford Edge as well. So let's talk about the competition here. Normally, the Fusion, or at least the lower trim levels, they compete against the likes of the Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, Chevrolet Malibu, the soon-to-be discontinued Chrysler 200, Nissan Altima, and the Mazda 6. Though they all carry a base price similar to the Fusion, around 22 grand. But then you have this Fusion Platinum trim, and it is just so premium. And I believe now it really can compete with the updated Buick LaCrosse and the Lexus ES. Yes, a Lexus. The Lexus ES starts at around $39,000. This car goes for about $38,000, and you get a lot of similar features. But what's even more interesting is the Lincoln MKZ. That is a heavily rebadged, restyled Ford Fusion. Same platform, Lincoln, it's Ford's luxury brand. But that car is going to cost over $40,000 with similar options. So in many ways, I think that the Ford has created internal competition by making this Fusion Platinum so premium. It almost eliminates the need to even consider the Lincoln MKZ. Unless you want to spend several $1,000s more, but that's up to you. And I love this exterior styling. It's got this great profile, 19-inch alloy wheels. It's got this sort of four-door coupe look going. And the front grille was also restyled for 2016. And it's got that sort of Aston Martin-ish look going. Some people don't like that. But the Platinum also has a black mesh grille outlined in chrome, which is really nice. I love this rear end with that chrome strip going. And you have these new LED headlights as well and LED tail lamps. And I also think the arch of the rear roofline, it reminds me of the Audi A7. And yes, for an extra $395, I would pay for this ruby red tinted clear coat paint. I think it looks really nice with the sleek styling. It's just a really nice sculpted look overall. So bottom line about the Fusion, what I like: exterior styling, the handling, the updated cabin interior, the variety of engine choices, and the new active safety systems. What I don't like so much is the rear seat room is only average for this class. You can no longer get a manual transmission option. It's only automatics, and it can get kind of expensive, especially when you go up to the Fusion Energy. But if you want all-wheel drive, I do recommend going for that new twin-turbo V6. The all-wheel drive needs the extra power to really appreciate everything combined. So if you're looking in the market for a Lexus ES, a Buick LaCrosse, or even a fully loaded Chevrolet Impala, this Ford Fusion Platinum is an excellent alternative. And it even costs a bit less money too. It drives great, it's very communicative, it's just a solid car overall. So I'm out of time for today. Thanks everyone for watching. If you have any more questions for me, leave them in the comments section below. Any suggestions for future unboxing reviews, also leave those in the comments section. And be sure to check out the full review of the 2017 Ford Fusion Platinum on carbuzz.com. Oh, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the CarBuzz Unboxing Review channel. So until next time, thanks for watching everyone.